Welcome to our episode of Voices Within. Can you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
My name is Dyson X Slater.
And I'm Sister Joy X Slater.
Yes, ma'am. So we met. It's not your first time on our show,
No, sir.
but it's your first time in person.
Yes, sir.
Can you give a brief synopsis from then and to now?
Well, it's been a week since April 9th, and I was released from physical incarceration. And the reason why I say physical incarceration, because during the time that I was physically incarcerated within the MDOC, I stayed mentally and spiritually free. And eventually my body caught up with my mind and my spirit. And here I am today.
Yes, sir.
31-year journey, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sister Joy,
Yes, sir.
you have a long record. Protocol, Muhammad's #1,
That's right.
designer, real estate agent,
That's right.
in the prison reform ministry.
That's right.
And most important, wife. So let's start there. When did you two meet?
We met years and years ago. It was decades ago.
Yeah.
But he was 12 and I was 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a friend of mine, she had said she thought he was kind of cute, so he was at a basketball game. And I said, I'll call him over. And so I was like, excuse me, number 10.
She remember the number.
At the basketball game, and then he turned around, and he came over to speak with us. After that, it was something between Dyson and I that we became best friends, next to Allah, of course.
That's right.
At that time, we would just always call each other best friends. We would talk on the phone 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. We would come over each other's house. We would we were very close. And I had never had a guy that was my best friend and no one to care the way that he did as a young man.
Yeah.
All praise due to Allah.
So what year would y'all decide to try it out as far as go beyond being best friends? Or I didn't say go beyond, I said building on that.
So, we started out when we kind of just like kissed each other, and we knew that we had a place in each other's heart, right? But we never did really act out on it. I didn't as much because Dyson being a young man, he was a handsome young man, and there was a lot of girls hanging around and all of this other stuff, and I just always knew that, okay, one day he's gonna grow up. I come from a family of marriage. My grandparents were deaf, dumb, part. So that's what I was looking for, even at a young age like that. So you can say that we started very young, but moving into something a little bit more serious, our journey started. I went on my part of the journey, he went on his part of the journey, and then we end up coming back together. But one of the things that was amazing is as children, we always said that if we didn't marry anyone else by the age of 25, that we would marry each other. And now we're 52.
Oh, praise due to Allah.
Just turn the numbers around, absolutely.
Yes.
We say if you're not with anybody at the age of 25, and I'm not with anybody by the age of 25, then we'll marry each other. And me, in my young mind, I'm like, coming to America. When the king said, go sow your wild oats, I'm sowing wild oats, but she always held a special place in my heart. She's always been good to me my entire life, and my acquaintance with her, it's always been magnificent, brother.
Yes, sir.
And now that I'm home
Yes.
and get to experience it and keep a promise that we made to one another, as well as the promise we made to our father, it's all being fulfilled. So since I've been home, every milestone that we hit, that we have promised each other, we say, another dream come true.
Yes.
Check that one.
Yes.
Check that one. So it's been a beautiful journey, brother.
Yes.
And I'm loving it.
And
I recommend marriage to all my single brothers out there.
Yes,
find
sir.
the right one. Find
Yes,
the
indeed.
right one. And I was blessed to find one at the age of 12.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So throughout your 31 years of incarceration, you've seen many brothers come and go.
Yes, sir.
And stay in contact with a lot of them.
Yes, sir.
And from yourself, what do you think is the advantage of having a wife by your side when you come out that environment as opposed to having just by yourself?
Well, in my case, I think that one of the greatest advantages is having somebody next to you that you know has your best interest at heart. And she's a soldier. So anything that looks out of whack, she right there to straighten me up.
Yes.
And by her being an MGT within the Nation of Islam, she knows how to speak our language to get an FOI to respond correctly. So she's straightened me out several times since I've been home. And I thank Allah in the person of Master Farah Muhammad for that. She's made friendships for me in all walks of life since I've come home. She's made my transition smooth when it comes to employment, clothing, and all of the necessities of life that I need since I've been home, absent 31 years. So it's been a beautiful transition, man. I'm loving everything. She's been good to me, brother. So I'm extremely happy. So this smile right here, you know how they say looks can be deceiving? Well, this look is not deceiving.
That's
bro.
right.
Yes, sir.
So I know you from Ypsi. Where was you born and raised at, Sister Joy?
I lived in Ypsilanti as well. We lived probably about 7-8 minutes away from each other.
So when you make your transition to the Nation of Islam?
2009. And it's funny you said that, you know how we say Islam comes when all else fails.
Yes, ma'am.
So I've never been the one who, when my best friend next to Allah, when he left to go away, I've never been the person to say that he was going to be there for his entire life. So I carried him in my heart throughout my journey. I did get married, and it was funny because I called that. I mean, we were writing each other back and forth, and I said to Dyson, "What you think about him?" He gave his blessing at that time, and then as time moved on, my father was ill. He passed away, and that's when I say everything failed. At that time as well too, I was getting a divorce. And Dyson and I kept writing, and I said, I need to come see you because my heart was hurting. In 2008, my grandmother had passed away, and I'm kind of that person in the family that takes a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. So when I went to see him, he said, I want you to go to the mosque. And then I said, okay, I'll go. Now, prior to that, my father loved Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he just, I always tell people he was an FOI, but he just didn't get registered. He gave charity. He made sure that he had the books in the house. So I knew that when Dyson said it, I wasn't just doing it for Dyson, but I was doing it for me because it was the right way to go.
Come on. That's right.
So when I got there, it was Brother Rasul, who was the person that I first heard speaking, and it was an instant just warmth that came out of me. And then when I got back home, he called me immediately, and we just talked, and he started teaching me more and more and more, and that started my journey.
Yes, ma'am. So let's talk about your CEO and founder of G.R.E.Y Taylor Collection. What is that?
So G.R.E.Y Taylor Collection is my handbag line. It's near and dear to my heart as well too. I am the type of person that I like fashions, I like style. And one of the things that encouraged me to actually get my own line was I paid $1,200 before for a Gucci bag. And it actually tore. And so I was talking to Dyson, and I'm like, Dyson, I gotta get a handbag line. And he's like, okay, how is this gonna work? Everything I can say, every step of the way in my career, in my decisions, it was us. It was us together. So prior, I had a jewelry line, and we made that logo together, And then he said, okay, you're gonna add handbags, what do you have to do? So I started researching everything. They sent me some swatches and I got busy after that. And right now, I officially launched a year and a half ago, which it was a successful, wonderful launch.
Yes.
We have all size handbags that a woman can think of, all colors. And we are moving forward. We were in 2 stores now, we bagged up a little bit, and now just in 1, but we are online as well too.
So you have a website?
Yes.
So I'll make sure I upload it when we upload this.
Thank you.
And real estate. What made you get off into real estate?
So real estate is a whole different thing for me. It's not just, I say that I'm all things real estate.
Yes.
And the reason why I say that is because I love houses. I love construction.
Yeah.
I decided to go to school and get my bachelor's degree in interior design.
Yeah.
And during the time that, in 2005, I got into a car accident. That car accident hurt my back really bad. And I was trying to figure out, I'm not a person that just sits still. Even though I was working at Ford Motor Company, they were sending me, making sure I was on medical, I was okay. And, but had to go to physical therapy. And I didn't just want to sit down, sit around. So it was, at that time, Ford Motor Company gave classes. And I went to a real estate class. And out of that real estate class, I decided to start flipping properties. And my father, who also was my best friend, my mentor, I said, Dad, I want to flip properties. He said, okay, what does it take? So he gave me my first investment, and it wasn't a small investment. It was a very large investment because he believed in us like that. And with that investment, I invested in a property and I started flipping properties.
Yes.
And that was the opening.
Okay.
So once I realized that I gave so much money to purchase the property and to sell the property to the real estate agent, I was like, hold on, I need to rethink this and I need to get a real estate license.
Okay. Brother Dyson.
Yes, sir.
31 years, that's a lifetime.
Yes, sir.
So for you been out not too long, what do you think been the toughest or most difficult challenge for you so far?
Well, first I'd like to correct when you had said that born in Ypsilanti, right?
Yes, sir.
I was born and raised in Ypsilanti. However, that's not where I'm from. Like yourself and like herself,
Yes, sir.
we give all our origin and credit to Allah, right?
Yes, sir.
And I come into that knowledge during that 31 years of my incarceration that all things go back to Allah.
Yes.
He's the granter of all gifts and he's the bestower of all blessings.
Yeah.
Since I've been home after 31 years of physical incarceration, I think that the biggest bump in the road I've ran into, brother, is I had mastered that environment.
Yes.
And now I'm in a new environment. And when you're good at so many things and you come out here and everything is new,
Yes.
it gets frustrating.
Yes.
Because even the most simplest things are now complex to me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I walk up to the nozzle to pump some gas,
Yes.
and it's complex and all that. Like 31 years, it wasn't like that.
Yes.
Something as simple as that. We go to the grocery store, you bagging your own stuff up.
Yeah.
You spin the thing around and you're weighing the food and all this type of stuff. So it gets kind of frustrating because I pride myself on being good and being great
Yes.
in different areas, right? So she's been coaching me on patience,
Yes.
and she's been patient with me, and I've been patient with her in her corrections of me.
Yes.
So that's been kind of the biggest hurdle,
Yes.
just getting reacclimated and reorientated. However, what's been beautiful is the appreciation factor that's in my heart for my freedom.
Yes.
And seeing the value in life and not just existing in prison, but being out here to experience life and also to participate in activities that are improving other people's lives.
Yes.
So instead of being a liability, now I'm an asset, brother.
All
So,
praise due to Allah.
it's a beautiful journey, beautiful journey.
I mean, the most humble, like Muhammad teaches us, what the Holy Quran says, seek assistance through patience and prayer.
That's it, right, brother.
And
Yes.
we notice And I say I went through the same thing you went through, being locked up 29 years and coming out. The whole world changed from when we went in there.
Absolutely.
And like it's a blessing to have somebody to help you navigate. And that's why I feel reentry needs to start before you come out here.
Absolutely.
But we know the MDLC don't give us that. Because like I say, even the simple stuff, like saying pumping the gas, credit card, debit card, all the stuff, they don't teach us none of that.
That's right.
So if you don't have no support, they say get out there, get a job, get employment, check in your PO, you're on probation.
Yeah.
There's no in between. There's nobody out there has navigated. And when you fall,
Come on.
okay, you got to get back up.
Come on.
And a lot of times, I think it's a blessing when you have somebody like your wife or anybody that understands the struggle of somebody being locked up.
Absolutely.
We gonna make mistakes.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, like I noticed when we submit to the teachers, we're not gonna make the same mistake twice.
That's right. Come on.
But the problem is people that don't understand our journey, we make that mistake, they judge us.
Yes,
and which in reflect cause us to like fall back.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So she's been my training wheels. So every
Yes.
time I'm about to fall, she
Yes.
got me. You know what I mean? So I
Yes.
get my balance back. So
Yes.
it's a blessing altogether, brother.
Yes. How do y'all handle, you speak about balance, because I know like before brother got out, like say you wear so many hats from the protocol, real estate, designer, next is our prison reform ministry, and he out here and you got people, pulling you every which way, come here, come there, and you still got stuff that need to be done. How do y'all balance all that out?
It's a trial. But I'll let her speak on it. You know, I'll come behind her. Ladies first. Ladies
Yes.
first.
It may be a larger trial to him because of some of the frustration. But when Dyson talked about, I made friendships for him,
Yes.
for him. We had read what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had told Mother Khadijah Farrakhan to make friendships for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes.
So everything that we said that we were gonna do, I started doing everything that we said that we were gonna do.
Yeah.
And I was checking off every little box. So making those friendships helped me a lot. Brothers like yourself,
Come on. That's
Some-
right.
other brothers that sat next to me
Yes.
during all of these trials and court dates and the sisters that called me on the telephone, those brothers and sisters held me down.
That's right.
And so I couldn't flip over,
Yes.
including family. We went to my aunt's yesterday who did this exact same thing. My
Yeah.
mother, my brother, they held me down. So with being held down and having an army
Army.
that was next to you,
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
it was the foundation.
That's right. That's right.
And so when Dyson was able to walk out the door, I wasn't selfish either. I didn't keep that moment for myself. I text you, I called this one,
Yeah.
I screamed to that one
Yes,
on the
ma'am.
phone because everybody helped me to do that.
Come
Yeah.
on.
And now that he is home, they advice like yourself.
Yes.
The council.
The counsel from another brother earlier, just take your time. And yes, we have, where I have this arduous schedule, but I just told Dyson this morning, I said, look what Allah done though. He opened my schedule to go a certain way because this time, 2 weeks ago, I was slammed. When I say slammed, I was slammed when it came to real estate especially. But this week, my schedule is just a little bit lighter.
Yes.
So yes, we do rise at 5 in the morning and we pray. And then once we rise at 5 in the morning and we pray and work out, we get on this schedule and we stay on that schedule to get as much done as possible.
Yes.
Are there bumps in the road? Yes, they are. But we strive to, and he gives the credit to me, but I have to give the credit to him as well. He will lean in and say, remember we said we were gonna do this, or he will lean in and say, I apologize. And so it helps us to get that balance and stay on that right path.
Okay.
The Mizan, as in Arabic, balance, the Maizan.
Yes.
In our struggle for balance, study God.
And that was one of my favorite study guides, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I studied and studied it, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I love the learning curve.
Yes.
I love her patience. She's a good teacher, you know. And after being in prison for so long and always being an authority over the brothers in the ranks and rah, 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 this way, it's got to be done this way and this and that. Now she's my commanding officer in a sense, you know what I mean, when it comes to this out here. And I'm a humble soldier, man, you know what I mean? So I allow her to lead me where necessary, and she's been getting me all the way together.
Yes.
But I also know when to step back, and I also know what tone to deliver things in.
Yes.
And if I don't, then I will go back and I will say, I apologize. But this week, like I said, we have so many of you all to help us as well too, and I'm so grateful. And so
Big Malachi.
Yes, sir.
Brother, yes.
So this week has been great. It has. It's been so good.
You just said that remind me what our late great sister, I ain't gonna say late, our beloved sister, student Miss A. Muhammad said. She was giving a lecture, and somebody asked about her speaking, and she was like, she got a husband. Basically, she was saying, paraphrase, like she got a solid husband. So she speak when she know when to speak, but she said, but she has a real man, so she know when to refrain from and let him take the lead. And because she's a woman, you don't have to be like quiet. You have a voice. Like Mr. Farrakhan said, he don't use the word goddess. It's the black man, the God, so is the black woman. She's his first teacher, nurse, and guide.
That's right.
And speaking of which, your mother.
Yes.
And I texted her, I told her, I said, she's a prime example of unwavering love and support.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you had this conversation that, you know, to take JPay letters, pick up phone calls, periodically, that's one thing. But to do it consistently, go to events, not just for you and for other people. And when I look at your mother, you know, she don't move at the same speed we may move.
Yes, sir.
But when she get there, she just as powerful and impactful than those of us are already there.
Absolutely.
So could you explain to us how does it feel to have somebody like that?
My mother, my entire life has been like my biggest fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, right or wrong, she'll be there for me, but she'll let me know when I'm wrong. And during this journey, anything I've needed and anything I've called on her to do, she's done it for me. And out of my love for our brotherhood, she did it for others.
Yes.
And like you said, traveling to Lansing for different rallies for justice.
Yeah.
Not just for me, she was saying other people's names. Brothers who didn't have a mother there, and I was close to them. They could call my mom. Everybody called her Mama E. That's powerful. She would get final call subscriptions for brothers. She was send brothers books. She was send brothers money. All type of things. I had a bunkie one time, didn't have a winter coat and we could get clothes in. She bought him a coat. She's done fundraisers on my behalf to raise money to defray my legal costs. She's been nothing less than a superhero in my life in regards to this journey and in other aspects of my life. And so Allah has truly blessed me with angels.
Yes.
In my book, It's Nation Time, my bearing witness written in rhyme. Dr. Dyson X Slater, by
Yes,
the way.
sir.
You can be found on Amazon.
That's right.
But I have a poem in there, and it's called Dyson's Angels. And like Joy was pointing out, my entire journey, I've been surrounded by angels. And the beauty of my mother in this situation, being an extraordinary angel in my life, is every step of the way, I could call my mother if I needed money, anything. She was gonna make it happen, and she has made it happen. And the sad thing is, 31 years later, like I can look at photos from when I first got incarcerated, and you can see how she's aged from having her oldest child in prison. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because everybody that loves you is incarcerated with you. So
That's right.
I thank Allah in the person of Master Muhammad for blessing me with the opportunity to return to society, and my mother is still alive.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And even though my life is dedicated to service to our people and Allah first, our religion has a mission attached to it.
That's right.
So there's loved ones and friends, associates, whatever the case may be, may feel slighted a little bit because what they wanted to put me in when I came home as far as they vision for me isn't the vision that Allah has for me, nor the vision I have for myself.
That's right.
And that doesn't mean that I lack respect for any of them, that I don't honor them, but I don't put nobody above Allah in this mission. So when I get the opportunity and I'm home and things begin to slow down for me a little bit more, I'll make my rounds.
Yes.
But until then, I have to follow the instructions that we were given in our nation wherein is God first,
That's right.
then you, then family, then nation.
Yeah.
So, and when I say God first and then you, well, she and I are wedded. So therefore, we one flesh.
Yes.
So when I say me, I'm saying we.
Yes.
And when she say me, she's saying we.
Yes.
So that's been the mission, man. But my mother, man, she's a superhero. I love her.